this really shitty iPad mini that I'm gonna.
Did you update it?
I did. I updated it before I asked you yesterday about the issue.
How much memory do you have?
I should have I don't have anything on here. And it's crazy because I have the iPad Pro and I have my other iPad Pro, like the old one, before they did the.
Just so y'all know, we are definitely live now.
Okay. The old one before we did the bezel reduction, I have that one too. I have 27 gigabytes available.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Indeed. I don't even know. I don't honestly know what's on here. I should have more. I'm just going to delete everything.
Hey, first chatter is Kelly.
So
hey,
after this,
bits.
I'll put out like a whole thing about like.
Dang, I gotta buy some bits though.
But now all of our podcasts are on and live on Twitch.
Ooh.
So, yay. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, let's do this thing.
You're recording Gabe already, right?
Yes.
As am I.
Why you look so creepy?
Because I'm so scared something's gonna fuck up.
Oh no! It's okay. It's only 8 p.m. So
we ended up starting at the time I said anyway because of our setup. Hey, that's fine.
Imagine if we started trying to set up at 8.
That would have been a problem.
It sure would have.
That's why I said no. Can't be doing that at 8 p.m.
No.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of HPCritical, a podcast where my friends and I talk all things gaming. I am Jarrell, and I am joined by Kelly.
Hi, everybody.
Gabe.
Hello.
And Brandon.
What's up?
So there has been a ton to talk about this week. I was going to ask, what y'all are playing, but first, I would like to say Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there because it is
Happy
St.
St.
Patrick's
Patty's. Woo!
Green.
Let's go.
And happy Women's History Month because I don't remember if I said it last podcast, but it is March, so it's definitely Women's History Month. So happy Women's History Month to everybody out there. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there. Is there anything else happening?
Of major note? I don't know. We got a daylight savings time happened recently, so there's that. Spring is about to begin in a few days. Literally, what's today? Thursday? 3 days from now, it's going to be spring. So that's cool.
Okay.
That's all I got for you. That is done news.
No, that's great. That's great. I literally forgot that spring is coming, so that's great. Last week, there was something that I think we forgot or we ran out of time to mention, and I was trying to think about whether I could bring it back up today, but I completely forgot what it was. But new week, new conversation, and this week I can tell you guys that Elden Ring was the best-selling game of February, and it had the second best launch month sales of any game in the past 12 months in the US, coming in second only to Call of Duty Vanguard.
Wow.
Did I talk about that already?
No, that was reported 2 days ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's
good,
new
good.
AF.
So I know Gabe and I played Elden Ring. Kelly, Brandon, have either of you played? Do you have any interest in playing?
As of the right now, I do not.
No.
I'm so shocked.
So Souls games are interesting for me because I have a great deal of respect for them, and I love watching YouTubers or streamers play them, but I have no interest in doing so myself. I'd say a fair amount of Elden Ring content since it came out. It's fun to watch, but I'm like, I'm good. I have other games I need to play at the moment. But yeah, that is I.
Honestly, I bought it. I played it. It was a lot of fun. I don't like Souls games. Kelly, I think you should give it a try. I feel like you would like it if you didn't get frustrated. The problem is you would probably get frustrated.
Have you met me? I'm gonna get frustrated.
I feel like you would really enjoy it if you didn't get frustrated, but I feel like you would also get frustrated. I had the best experience because I was stuck on a boss, and I asked for help, and Gabe came and helped me because he's a wonderful person, and we beat the boss, and it was wonderful. I don't remember what boss it was. Was it Margaret?
Yeah, it was Margaret, which is the first major boss you fight.
Yeah, so I kept dying, and I was like, "This is dumb. Like, I can't do this." And so I asked for help, and Gabe and Job came and helped me, and they kicked ass, and it was fucking awesome. Although Gabe did die in that battle, but
Hold on,
he died.
before we go into me dying, I will say I went in there and I gave that guy 2 massive blood losses, which takes his health down considerably. I died with honor, and also I died. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if you saw how I died, but I died with a little bullshit way. Like I had rolled, and I still got hit by the attack. But I was like,
to me too. So I understand.
I was like, you know what? He's gonna get the win. As long as he's gonna get the win, I'm okay.
I did get the win. It was really epic. It was a great fight. And it's really why people like Soulsborne games. Like when I played that with them, I was like, okay, well, this is why people love this. This shit is great. It's really fun. I was in an area that I was way too underleveled for. And I decided to go over there, and I was like, "Oh, Gabe, come help me because you're so strong." And there's a lovely little recorded video that I have to put on the HPCritical Twitter stream of Gabe literally. His character just runs in and fucking gets one shot and dies, and it's the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. I'm gonna post it so you guys can see it. It is literally my defining moment because Gabe always makes fun of me for how he kicks my ass in Smash, and now I have this recording of him being an idiot. Like he just runs straight forward to the boss and just gets like murdered.
Man.
And
it's
I'm
like
just
the Leroy Jenkins moment, but
it really was.
You don't win.
Jenkins moment.
Yeah, I don't win.
I was literally standing there like, what do I do? Like I don't know what to do. Because then, of course, the boss comes and kills me because I'm like level 14 or some shit. Like I'm super low level, and Gabe fucking ran in and fucking died. So then it comes after me and it kills me, and I was like, what an asshole. So then I was like, let's try one more time. That turned into trying like 3 or 4 times. And he just kept dying.
I kept getting one-shotted. I don't know what was going on. Like, I was like, you know what? I guess maybe I'm too low level for this area too. But
really great, but also really, really funny. But speaking of, and I feel like this conversation comes up a lot with when we talk about games and difficulty levels. Square Enix put out a post on their website, and I'll read you guys a portion of it.
Okay.
It says, quote, "You can reduce the level of difficulty by interacting with cubes in the environment and on the level select screen, and don't be afraid to do so. While it can be fun to get good, and the game definitely rewards that, Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins is intended as an action RPG for all players, so experience it however you want." That was a quote from the Square Enix website on Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins, because we always have this conversation about games and accessibility, and especially when it comes to Soulsborne games, like how they work out. Do you guys have any of you tried the Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins demo?
No.
I played the original demo when that came out for about maybe 40 minutes, and it wasn't for lack of interest. It's just like when it came out, I was like so busy with like 1,000 things, so that's all I could really devote to it. And I haven't done any of the other demos, but I like what I played. It's not something I'll probably get launch day, but it's something I do want to get in the future. It's fun. It's challenging, but not too challenging.
That game is so bad that it's great. It is literally so bad that it's wonderful.
I'm enjoying
so fun.
It is, yes. I'm enjoying just seeing clips of like dialogue from the different.
It makes no sense.
My favorite one is like Jack cussing out the licked when it appears before him. Have you guys seen that clip?
I have not seen that one, but I did play the latest demo.
Okay, it's literally it's literally like a clip of the lick doing like a big monologue is like, this is not verbatim, I don't remember the exact quote, but basically the lick is like, "You shall fall before me, for I am," but then Jack interrupts and says, "I don't give a fuck who you are." It's like about to like deck him. He's just like interrupts.
So that's the great part of this game. That's why I say it's so bad it's good. The writing is horrible, but it really it's really, really bad. But it really just leans into how horrible it is so that it's actually really funny. The problem is, really important moments are also really funny. And I don't think I'm meant to be laughing at like serious Final Fantasy story moments. And I'm like, this shit is dumb as fuck.
I don't know. Fun. The more I see, the more I feel like it might even be intentional. Like in the beginning, I was like, ooh.
I would have agreed with you, but having played it, 100% not intentional. Like,
okay.
I don't think they leaned into it that much. Like some
I
of the
see.
shit was not on purpose. Like one of the funniest things, and I saw this on Twitter, and I thought it was not real. I was like, this ain't real. Like, there's no way this is in the actual game. But Jack and the other two guys, there's three main characters. They literally walk up to him like out of nowhere, like mid, like he's just standing there. Two random, like one black dude and one white dude, just walk up to him, and they're just like, "Hey, I've got a crystal. You got a crystal. We're friends now." And they fist bump, and that's it. Like that's it. And I was like, "What? Like y'all don't know his name? You like you didn't introduce yourselves? This is random as fuck." And then right after that, it just transitions to 6 months later. And I was
okay. I saw
swear
the
to
first
you.
part of that cussing. I didn't see the 6 months later. That's hilarious. That's awesome.
And they're like on a boat, and he's cut, and he's like, one of the guys is like, "Clean your cut off," and he's like, "I can use my spit," and then he does, and I was like, "What is happening in this game right now? Like, I have no idea what's going on." And then it lets me fight stuff, and then it's great, and I'm like, "Okay, fine, I'll just go fight more shit." Like, this is wonderful. But everything in between is just really fucking weird.
Real quick, my friend Rob is on chat. He's just been responding to our talk about Stranger Paradise, saying things like he's playing it right now. He got the digital deluxe and been playing since day one. He says, and I agree with this. Jack is the epitome of a person who skips all the cutscenes.
He really is.
Yeah.
He really is. Like he never knows what the fuck is going on. He literally is just like, "All right, shut up, punch."
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't let, like I said, he didn't even let Lick finish his monologue. He just went and decked him. And he's talking about that Crystal's cutscene you were just talking about, saying it's the first cutscene.
It is literally the first one in the game. Like you like see the Princess Sarah and like you talk to her, and then like right after that, it's one of the first cutscenes in the game. And I was like, what? It's been like 5 minutes. Like you literally play for 5 minutes and that's it. But I will say it is the fastest I've ever gotten party members in a Final Fantasy game. Like literally straight up 5 minutes in, they were just like, "All right, let's go."
I think 15 is the only that might be quicker.
True, because they're already with you.
Yeah.
So I was going to talk a little bit about, the ability to change difficulty in video games mid-game. How do you guys feel about that? Being able to change difficulty mid-game?
Oh, mid-game. I mean
yeah.
Go ahead,
specifically for action RPGs, because I know you can do it for things like tactical RPGs, like
Sure.
What's that last Triangle Strategy, which I think is a great idea, because if you get stuck on a tactical game, you can't really get good your way out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Physically. But yeah, specifically for like action RPGs, how do you feel about the ability to change the difficulty mid-game?
It's not something that a lot of action RPGs do, if I'm being honest. Like, I know the Kingdom Hearts series, once you choose that difficulty, you can't change that shit. Like, you're stuck in that with whichever you chose. It is kind of cool to see more games being able to do it, because I just don't think it's as easy to do in action RPGs, if I'm being real. And I think with Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, I think it's important that it has the ability to change difficulty, or rather have the multiple difficulty settings, because ostensibly this is like similar to like it wears its influence of Souls games on its sleeve in terms of how you move and how you fight the enemies, right? But there's a lot of Final Fantasy fans that aren't used to that kind of gameplay. I think with Dark Souls it was okay, because this is a new game. It's meant from the get-go to be this really difficult game that you just have to kind of like learn and whatnot. With the Final Fantasy Origins, people, a long time Final Fantasy fan that may have been playing like the turn-based or the more action RPG ones of recent years may go to a game like this and be like, "Oh, this is too hard. I just want to experience the story." And the options there for them if they really want to do that. Or they could try it in hard mode first off. It may not be good enough to do it, or it's just like too hard for them to be like, I'm just gonna lower this. I want to finish this game.
So do you feel like games should in general have those options in game?
Sure, I think most games should have that option, because someone will just realize maybe they just they didn't know what they're getting themselves into, and they just want to make it a little bit easier for them so they can actually see the credits. And I think that's a better alternative to stop playing this game altogether that you may spend $60 or $70 on. That's just my thinking on it.
And Kelly, what about you? Because I know that you started Final Fantasy VII Remake on like casual story mode, like, right? Super simple.
I pretty much always do, to be honest. If there's no easy mode, is the only reason I don't play in easy mode. I think that some things I probably have played on normal, and then if I get like frustrated, I'll just put it on easy. And I think that's kind of fun, because maybe halfway through the story you realize like I don't want to keep doing like mundane, it's like melee combat or something, and you want to change it up. Or sometimes maybe it's too easy and you want to change it to make it harder. Um, yeah, I like having the option to change mid game because just when I start the game, I might be in a different headspace than when I'm like halfway through
Oh
it.
my god, yes. I'll say really quickly that I believe that game should have this specifically for Yakuza Like a Dragon. I don't think any of you guys have actually played that game.
Okay.
But for 90% of that game, you are on level with like everything. It's not hard. It's turn-based. Like you can fight everything. About the last like 10% of the game that I'm in like right now, everybody's like level 30, 35, 40. You're on par. Not even 40, like between 30 and 35. There is a boss, and anyone who has played Yakuza knows exactly what I'm talking about. There is a boss that's like level 55 out of nowhere. Like you're at level 35. The bosses that you fight right before this boss, level 35. The next guy, 50. The guy after him, mind you, this one boss fight is actually 2 level 50 dudes. And it's the stupidest, most ridiculous spike in difficulty I've ever played in any video game ever. And when I started that game, I was totally in the headspace of, oh, this game's fucking awesome. I'm enjoying it. It's great. I started that like a year ago, maybe like a year and a half ago. Now every time I turn it on, I'm like, oh my god, I have to grind another 20 levels because this is a stupid ass difficulty spike for absolutely no reason. And I guess for fans of the game, it'll be cool because those characters are characters that were in the previous games that you have to fight as a boss now. I have never played any other games, so I don't give a shit. What I am upset about is that I have to spend, like, every time I turn on my Xbox, I'm like, oh my god, I gotta spend another, like, 15, 20 minutes just grinding to get to a level to be on par with the boss, not even above the boss. And then to try to grind to be above the boss to just do one boss fight that has literally stopped the entire story for me, that shit is trash. I wish they had the ability to change the difficulty because I would drop that shit and fight like the boss like I'm normally supposed to. I have never had any issues in this game when it comes to boss fights. I beat them all. Either on the first try or the second try. I've never had any issues. And then this stupid ass difficulty spike has really stopped me from finishing this game. And it's really annoying because I don't have time. Like if I have to decide what I'm going to play today, and I think I really want to finish Yakuza, but I'm gonna have to spend 30 minutes just grinding versus I can go catch some Pokemon and like finish Pokemon now. I'm gonna Pokemon. Like, why would I waste my time grinding in this game just so I can finish? And that's one of the reasons I haven't finished it. Anyway, that's all I have to say about it. Gabe, did you want to talk about this before I move on?
Not really, except to retort back to Square Enix because they obviously targeted the Dark Souls games. there is a way to change the difficulty in it, and it's called summoning. I mean, you like literally, and like to put it in perspective, summoning an NPC, that's like putting the game on normal, and then
yeah, but you can't summon anytime.
Actually, yes, it's the summon pools. If you correctly, sorry, if you read carefully, the summon pools, they're the more populated areas for summoning. But if you do that thing, the coal of the finger thing, and anywhere throughout the map, you can actually find summon signs randomly scattered across. So it's just the summon pool is used though, because a lot of times in the old Souls games, like you wouldn't know when to summon because you would know when you're going to fight the boss. But the summon pool is so you can use that, and it's easier to find someone else to summon. But that's not the only place you can summon.
I'm sorry, we were talking about two different things. I thought you were talking about the little summons that you can do, like the NPC summons that can.
Oh, yeah, the NPC ones. Yeah, those are not all over the map. Yeah,
that's what I thought you were talking about, and those are literally, you can't do that whenever you want.
No,
however,
NPC
sure,
ones are
you
specific
can
areas.
summon whenever you want, but that doesn't mean anyone is going to be in that area to help you.
I mean, you're not wrong, but the chances of someone being there are higher than the chances of someone not being there.
That is a fucking lie. No one was anywhere near that boss that I was trying to fight that day that you kept dying.
I mean, did you have the password in already, though?
No, I took it off. I literally took the password off to try. And I was like, anybody
That's
here?
all I see.
Because nobody else wanted to fight that shit either. And I was like, okay, well, if no one's fighting it. All right, so former Nintendo of America president and COO Reggie Fils-Aimé has questioned the current definition of Facebook's metaverse vision, saying that Facebook itself is not an innovative company. That's from IGN.com. We all know and love wonderful Reggie. Any thoughts on his comments about the Facebook metaverse and how
He's not wrong.
That's what I was gonna say. He ain't wrong.
I mean,
no, that's he's
they just took what MySpace had, made it their own with some little tweaks, and then yeah, I mean they really haven't made anything new. Even this metaverse thing isn't new. I'm pretty sure one of their interns or something saw on Twitter one day like, oh wow, an online universe, that'd be cool. Let me go tell Zuckerberg. So
yeah, they played Persona 5.
Obviously it didn't
like...
happen like that, but. Yeah, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
So there was a topic that we were going to talk about on a previous podcast, involving the metaverse, because there was a woman who said that she was gang raped in the metaverse, and yeah, it was really bad, and we didn't talk about it, so we're not going to talk about it now because it happened weeks ago. And she said it was because there weren't precautions put in place to ensure that things like that don't happen going into the metaverse. And, you know, based on that story alone, Reggie is right. Mm-hmm. And I was going to talk to you guys about what you thought about the story and how you feel based on what it said, and how she experienced this, because obviously it is... the metaverse is, you know, not real. It is a place where you have like your avatars and your whatever. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm moving on because I don't want to get into that anymore. So there's an Elden Ring hacker that says it's necessary for him to ruin other people's games. A cheating Elden Ring player is getting innocent players banned instead, although he says he wants From Software to stop him. And so I don't know if you guys have seen
What is this comic book villain nonsense?
He goes around, he goes into other people's games, and he fires off like a never-ending, unnatural-looking blast of fire at unexpected players, and then it modifies the source code to place illegal items in the players' inventories, resulting in them being soft banned while he gets away scot-free. And this is from Metro, written by Michael Beckwith. And it says, quote, soft banning doesn't prevent you from playing the game anymore, but it does mean you can only play with other soft banned players. In practice, it's meant to punish cheaters, but Reynolds has effectively invalidated it. He's rather infamous within the From Software community and was guilty of pulling the exact same stunt in previous games like Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls Remastered. There's even a 2016 Reddit thread detailing what to do if he invades your game. Although he clearly finds his actions amusing, judging by the laughter in the video and ridiculous music, he believes what he's doing is for the greater good, as it's exposing the faults in From Software and Bandai Namco's anti-cheating system. I'm a necessary evil, he told Kotaku. You might be asking if getting caught is part of the plan, and yes it is. If I pull it off, will the game die? I don't think so. But maybe Bandai Namco will fix it.
Oh man.
End quote.
This vigilante, this Robin Hood, this this is hilarious.
So, I want to know what you guys think about this. I'm gonna go first and say this is stupid. If there's an issue in the game with its source code that allows you to do this, instead of being an asshole and getting other people banned, just write to the fucking developers and say, or make a fucking report, make an in-game report saying this is what happened when I did this. This should be fixed by the next patch. Why can't you just do that? Why do you need to get other people banned and think it's funny and laugh about it and post it on YouTube? You're just an asshole.
Yeah. The ends justify the means, though. What he's
No, they
doing
don't.
is for the
They
he's doing is
They
for the
literally
greater
don't.
good. I'm kidding.
But that's the problem. They
I'm being facetious. This guy's
I
a
know.
complete asshole. He's just like I love. This is literally like what you see in like a TV show, or it's just like or a TV show or a movie. Like this is literally villain motivations. Where it's just I need
It's
to be
so
stopped.
confusing.
It's for the I'm the villain that you must stop.
But
it's got.
I don't get people's like need to ruin things for other people to try and
Yeah,
prove a point. It makes zero
exactly.
sense to me. Like, it's a video game. Even if they don't fix it, one, you're one of the few people that know it, and then two,
Yeah.
like, nothing bad's gonna come out of it. Oh, there's a messed up source code. Whoop-de-woo, dude. Like, the world's not gonna end because it's not fixed.
Right.
These are the people that need to go outside and touch some grass.
My friend Rob commented Robin Hood Men in Tights. That's a good movie, by the way. Robin Hood Men in
It's a very
Tights is
funny
great.
Never
movie.
seen it.
It's
What were you
it's
saying,
good.
Kelly?
No, I was gonna say like the guy should get a life. Like
Literally, why you gotta ruin my experience? This is like my first. You know how many people are playing a From Software title like this for the first time
A lot,
and possibly really enjoying themselves, only to get rated and then banned and have no idea why the fuck it happened? Like, how is that? You're just ruining other people's experiences. And speaking of ruining other people's experiences, Twitch is taking legal action to combat recent anti-LGBTQ plus hate raids. Huh?
I know. I was just whispering segue.
Oh, the raids come from a far-right streaming platform. This is from enemy.com by Will Nelson. Twitch has denounced recent hate raids that took place on the platform and said it has taken legal action in response. The official Twitch support Twitter account issued a statement on the anti-LGBTQ plus hate raids last week, calling out the bad actors that had been coordinating off-site to target people. Hate has no place on Twitch, and we've identified and suspended the Twitch accounts of the individuals participating. Twitch's legal team is also involved with the streaming platform, saying it has taken legal action against those who have harassed our community in the past and continues to take these activities seriously. A hate raid is when users and bots flood a streamer's Twitch chat and spam hateful and offensive language during their streams. As reported by .esports, multiple Twitch creators took to the Twitter to post about the hate raids, with Earth to Bree mentioning that a creator was targeted by a platform called Cozy.tv. They spammed hateful homophobic messages, tried to spam in the Discord, and streamed Ryan's stream to his viewers while making fun of him. Cozy.tv is a conservative streaming website co-founded by far-right white nationalist Nick Fuentes, who encouraged and took credit for the LGBTQ plus hate raids in a clip from one of his recent streams on Cozy.tv platform. Fuentes has previously been banned from Twitch, Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, and services like PayPal, Venmo, and Patreon. During the clip, Fuentes openly mocked Twitter users who contacted the Cozy moderator Twitter account, reporting the hate raids, claiming it's not even a real account. As of the publication, the Cozy moderator account appears to have been banned or deleted from Twitter. There's more there, just talking about, the legal action that they plan on taking from enemy.com, but I'm going to stop there. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is one of the first times that we've seen Twitch, one of the first times, not the first time, but one of the first times we've seen Twitch attempting to take legal action against someone for something like this, right? Am I wrong?
I think so. And what's funny is that they would only do it when it's not on their platform. Like, you're making money to some other way. Oh, you're fucking sued right now. Like, seriously, I feel like it's so funny that they'll go after another platform, which I mean they should, I think, but like they'll go after another platform, but like they have their own creators on Twitch doing hate raids, and it's like, well, we'll ban them, but no legal action will be taken. It's it's because guess what? Twitch owns the right to your content on Twitch as you're streaming it. If somebody else is streaming that, no matter what they're doing with the content, if they're streaming it live, they are stealing Twitch's content, and they will sue your ass. So, good luck with that.
I mean, there you go. I have nothing else to say.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have anything to say about that?
That pretty much sums it up for me, too.
But honestly, sorry, no, we just got into like this weird thing where like people have nothing better to make content about than making fun of other people. But there is a certain subset of society that is into it and wants this. And I think that that's pretty like disgusting and dangerous. Like clearly there are some people that are enjoying this a little like too much. And they're just like, I don't know, this is like what they're doing with their time. It's really just like, I don't know, like there's video games to play. There's like
a lot of video games to play.
There's books to read. There is literally all kinds of other shit to be doing. There's alcohol to drink. Seriously. Hello.
Yeah.
I don't think that they need to be drinking alcohol.
No, yeah, those are the type of people.
Yeah,
that
maybe not. Maybe not that. Maybe not that. They can give their extra alcohol to us. We'll drink it.
No, I mean, you brought up a great point that I hadn't even thought about, which is exactly what you said. You know, that they're stealing Twitch's content, and of course, this is the first time because it's exactly what you said. You know, how many things can you get banned from? Like shit, until you just, I guess, just keep getting banned and keep getting sued and think everything's funny. I guess I don't fucking know. Just don't come here. Okay, so there are evolving definitions of addiction and gaming disorder and its treatment implications. This is from Very Well Mind. Here are some key takeaways. Essentially, well, let me read this first. The field of addictions research continues to evolve. According to the World Health Organization, gaming disorder has been recognized in the 11th revision of the International Classification of Diseases. In the ICD, gaming disorder is defined as impaired control over gaming with adverse effects on daily functioning, as evident for at least 12 months. According to the latest edition of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, which is used in the US, internet gaming addiction would be the closest equivalent to the ICD-11's conditions. And then this article goes on and talk about the costs and benefits of addictions, and time accountability and how it can be helpful when it comes to addictions, especially for gaming. It also goes on to speak on gaining some distance from gaming as a part of how to cope with it. And it ends with talking about how technology comes at a cost and deconstructing the purpose gaming serves. So, now that this is an official disorder according to WHO, how do you guys feel about gaming as a disorder? And if you do feel like it is valid as a disorder, how do you think that someone should handle it?
I think that it is valid as a disorder. And I feel like as a gamer, I hate to say that, but like whenever you're putting off your real life to do something, that is a problem. Like it's an addiction. And when you're not doing the things that you need to be doing in your life, like going to work or, you know, paying your bills or whatever, like it kind of is a problem, just the same as any other addiction would be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't function in society because of something, I mean, well, actually, it could even be in your personal life. It doesn't have to be, well, I guess we're all part of society, whatever. It doesn't, I got off there.
We live in a society.
Yeah, we live in a society. You're going to have to be part of it at some point in some capacity. It's just, I do kind of feel like it's a disorder. I don't know what kind of criteria you have to like meet for that, but I don't know. I don't think that's crazy, but at the same time, it sounds silly. But games are part of our life now. We can't just like ignore it and act like, oh yeah, you just sit in your room all day and do nothing but play video games. That's totally normal and fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most interesting part for me is seeing how, now that it is officially a disorder, how it's going to be treated going forward. Just specifically in the vein of like, let's say, you know, I have a gaming disorder and I need to talk to someone about it. Are they going to take me seriously? You know, are they going to handle my case seriously based on, you know, what I say? And of course, according to this definition, it is, it, as I mentioned, refers to reduced control over gaming, which negatively impacts one's life, and is evident for at least a year. So that will have been a year of me being unable to control my ability to stop gaming, and it affecting my life negatively. Like, I just wonder how serious, I believe that it is a serious disorder, but I wonder how serious it's going to be taken within society when I, you know, try to talk to someone about it. You know, it's like, oh, okay, just turn it off, right? Like, just stop playing, turn it off, do this, do that. And it can easily be, you know, thrown out as a non-issue.
Yeah. I think it's hard because games sometimes are better than real life. Like, I don't want to stop. In my life, I'm a loser. I gotta go to work every day. But in games, like, I just get to like pet kitties and play mini games for gold. Like, it's so much better than real life. Like, I don't want to seek help, guys. Like, it doesn't seem like it's helping me. Obviously, you have to realize that you're not, you know, doing well if you're not getting your shit done. But like, That's why people get addicted to it, because it's better than real life, which is why people get addicted to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because
You know how many... Oh.
What?
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say drugs. I mean, I know that you
Okay,
were about to say
that's where I was going. But let's not
Like,
talk about personal experiences
that
here.
little bit of serotonin that you just get, you know?
When your life is bad and drugs or games make it better, it's very understandable to not want to go back to feeling bad.
But I wonder if there will be like rehab for gaming.
What do
Like,
you do?
What
Take
are
away
what
the
are you in for?
electronics. Like, I will literally just play mobile games the whole time while I'm there. And then
Are we
they're
gonna, like,
this is the problem.
Are we gonna like criminalize it now? Like, you were caught gaming.
Oh no,
on
not
on
a
a
gaming
Monday morning
prohibition
at
of the
8 a.m.
20s. The new neo roaring 20s.
Looks like you missed your login for your work from home job by about 10 minutes, sir. We're here to take
What were you
in.
doing? Oh my god, can you imagine like house arrest? But like
Oh.
they monitor how much gaming you do.
Your
So,
computer
we're laughing about
shuts
this?
off after like a couple hours. Like,
We're laughing about this, but this
It's
could
not-
very well lead. No. But this could very well lead. Whoa! Just
Huh?
kick the shit out of my table. This could very well lead to a lot of governments doing what China's government is doing to their kids.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was thinking that too.
You make that face, but a lot of, especially here in the U.S., I've seen a lot of governors, a lot of politicians try and blame everything on gaming. So this now that it's officially recognized as a disorder, they will weaponize this in politics.
they've been
They will
trying to
attempt
draw
to.
the link. They've been trying to draw links, video games to bad or video games to violent crime or whatever forever. They've been trying to draw that link, and this will just be one more way to do it.
So for all we know, our grandkids or our kids or whatever, they might only get 2 hours of gameplay on a Saturday evening.
The
in the
irony
future.
of Gabe saying that is he's also the one who always says "fuck them kids," so he don't
Straight
actually
up.
care.
Kids, I mean mind you, that's why I said
Fuck
grandkids.
them
not
kids.
us. I was able to do it. I don't give a damn.
I see. So Babylon's Fall. Really
Wait, hold
really
on.
bad.
Before you move on.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, no, I just want to read some comments of Rob because they're pertinent to our conversation. It's going to be a little out of order because he put out the comment saying, "Hey, what are you in for, man? I played too much Maple Story." but to read the comments that were actually pertinent to what we were talking, like that got me too. It's like, so he was saying,
like, can you imagine if you're in jail with other gamers and you're like, yeah, I've been
You
playing
for
Maple Story.
Candy Crush.
Look.
Oh my god, what if they like smuggle you in like a Game Boy? You know, it's like
"A game
like
Boy."
cell phones. It'll be a Game Boy though, or like
Oh,
a
man.
DS.
Yeah. But the conversation that he was in regards to whether it was this or not, he put down some of these comments. The first one is, I think it's a valid disorder. He used to be super addicted to MMOs and would sit around and spend hundreds of hours on a game instead of life stuff. After some motivation from others, he helped ease himself off MMOs and got onto more life things. And was also saying that it's good to know that folks are saying it is valid because it's a true disorder. Like, it's probably as wild as gambling when it comes to some folks, but American society as a whole would not understand.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's what I was mentioning. Like, how hard is it for everyone else who is not a gamer to understand that it's an issue? I mean, obviously, people around you who see that you're not doing anything else aside from gaming are going to understand.
Right.
But, like, the world at large, like, if I go to work, if I call out of work and I'm like, oh, I was playing a game and it just happens for a week, like, how many of them are going to be like, yo, is something wrong with that guy?
I mean, that's your fault then for saying you called out to play games.
Oh, I will tell them because I don't give a shit. Like, what are you doing, Drill? Well, Final Fantasy Endwalker is releasing, so I need the week off. And they didn't give it to me. But that's neither here nor there. Babylon's Fall. That shit was trash. I
I
tried
didn't even
it.
play it. Oh, you've actually played it?
Oh my god, it was so bad. The graphics literally look like... I don't know how to describe them. That's how bad they were.
And
It was very strange because the black people were like Kelly's color. It was really weird. Like it was
What?
really weird. It was a very weird game. Like character creation was just. I wish I took a screenshot and showed you guys just how bad that game looked. I actually didn't play the game because I couldn't get past character creator. That's how bad it was. So I actually don't know how bad the game is. I just know that it's so bad that it's unplayable bad that I couldn't even get to the actual game. It had a horrible launch, did really shitty, horrible numbers. Everyone expected it. Everyone who previewed the game, our friends who previewed the game, Grayson wrote a preview about it. I'm pretty sure I talked about it on the podcast. And everyone complained about how bad it was. Square Enix and Platinum Games have released a survey asking players to let them know what they can do to fix the game. So my questions for you guys are: one, do you remember this ever happening to any other game? And two, do you think it's too late, or is this a goodwill attempt?
Oh boy! Before I answer that, Rob's got some thoughts about Babylon's Fall because he actually bought the game himself. He says,
"I'm so sorry you wasted your money."
Oh, like that was his most recent comment. I regret spending 60 on it, but to go into detail, what he said, Babylon's Fall more like Babylon's Fool. Oof. And then saying watercolor art style doesn't fit, gameplay loop is horrible, multiplayer is forced, and as you said, Jarrell, the character creation is horrible. So yeah, he pretty much agrees with all your points, while also introducing a few other ones.
It literally looks so bad. I'm a screenshot. No, I'm not starting that game again ever.
to answer your question, it's weird. Oh god, it's at the tip of my tongue. I feel like there was a game that came out fairly recently that was in a similar boat where it was so bad that they were like, "Yo, can you tell us how to fix this game?" Like, I just can't remember what it was though. But
yeah. Now that you've said it, it sounds familiar.
Yeah. But because I can't remember what game that is, I can't remember if they ever did fix it. What I can say is, it seems really difficult to reverse course on this. Because here's the thing. When Babylon's Fall was announced for the first time, people were pretty hyped on it. You know, Square Enix Platinum sounds great. I mean, they collaborated on Nier Automata, and that was great. So, you know, but then I think it was E3 last year, maybe the year before, but I feel like it was last year, where they announced that it was going to be kind of like a more live service type of multiplayer focus. Now, that turned a lot of people off. I didn't get turned off quite yet. I was like, okay, that's a different direction. Not really my cup of tea, but it could still be good. And then we were getting closer and closer to release, and I was realizing slowly but surely that, oh boy, this game may not turn out so well. And then it came out, or rather, early reviews came out. I was like, oh no. We were planning to do like a launch stream of Babylon's Fall on, on HPCritical, and that didn't happen because early reviews came out, and I think you told us that everything you told us about the game, Joe. I think you had also mentioned a little beforehand as well, which was one of many reasons why I ultimately decided to not do that. But I don't know. Like, I don't think they could change like the identity of the game of it being like a live service title with multiplayer. I think that's going to be locked in. I don't know what they do to fix this, because if Platinum is involved, I can't imagine the gameplay could be that inherently flawed. It may be more of like a thing with like balancing and whatever microtransactions are in there, or what kind of live service model is on there. There's things on the micro level that you could certainly fix, but I don't know if the problem is on the macro level. I don't know if it's something that it's a ship that can be salvaged, but I'm talking with the most limited knowledge of this game possible, because unfortunately, little by little, I was just like, stop following it as much for all the reasons I said.
Do y'all remember when I said that Square Enix was just publishing anything nowadays? I don't give a fuck. Like, they have so much money, they're just like, yeah, sure, you want to play this game? Sure, here's the money. Go. We'll publish it for you. Just develop us a game. The problem with this game, the reason I don't think it can get fixed is because, one, there was no goodwill faith from the company in the beginning. Like, they knew that the game was really bad before launch. They heard how bad it was before launch. They let people pay full price for this game and then continue to be disappointed by it. And if it were like a smaller studio, sure. Fucking Square Enix and Platinum Games. Like, y'all can't get away with releasing a game like this. Also, you can't fix it. From what I've played, this game cannot be fixed. You would literally have to overhaul the entire... You would have to start from character creation. Like, you can't... I don't see this game getting fixed at all.
Yeah, that's a difficult one, if possible at all. Anyone else got thoughts on that?
I mean...
Not really.
Yeah.
I thought Gabe was gonna say something.
No, yeah, I have nothing to say about it.
Yeah, no, I don't really think that it can be fixed. I mean, we've seen a few bad launches, and like, if the game's not done, don't launch it. We've seen like some games that just kind of never recovered. No Man's Sky being one. I feel like Cyberpunk 2077 really was not well received, and it was just like wasn't unsalvageable, but like they weren't like asking the fucking fans like, hey, what can we do to make this game playable so you'll keep giving us money? Because that's just like a
They
slap in the
knew.
face. Yeah, I feel
They
like
knew, though,
you
what
fuck
was wrong.
no. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, here's something interesting because I didn't even think about this. Rob on chat was saying it's unfixable. It needs a revamp on the level of FF14. Has there ever been a game that's like gone so bad that they needed a full revamp and then come back from it, other than FF14 itself? Because I think that I don't know if any other game has ever done that successfully, rather, where they just like, whoa, we got to get rid of this.
Oh, the data isn't. I mean, that was like what 10 years later or something. So
Sure.
I think we need like a longer timeline to see if any of these games come back in a big way. Because that one, like, just I don't know. It was like a 10-year like turnaround on that. So we'll have to see.
He also posited.
Fantasy 14 is the problem. Go ahead.
He also said No Man's Sky didn't recover that game as the ultimate story of a turnaround. So that the difference between No Man's Sky is that game, like, it didn't get like taken off the market like 14 did. They just like they were actually. I remember when that game first came.
Didn't get taken off the market.
Well, no.
11 is still because okay, go ahead.
What I was gonna say was like the original version, like it was like delisted, like or rather they stopped making the like they recalled like certain copies of 14, and then when Realm Reborn came out, they started to reissue it from that version, and then whoever had the original got basically upgraded for that. I'm talking about that with that. But with No Man's Sky, that game just kind of stayed in market. And I remember when it first came out that, you know, people were complaining about all the issues the game had. It didn't have this, it didn't have that. And they kind of stayed very quiet about it. They really didn't address anything. So it was nothing like Babylon's Fall. Like, shit, ooh, this is bad. How do we fix this? No Man's Sky's like, they just stayed quiet. It's like, we got this.
No Man's Sky.
That's not what happened.
Yeah. No, it's not at all what happened.
No Man's Sky, they acknowledged the game was messed up. They put the price down significantly. It went from $59.99 to I think $4.99 for a good span of months. Because that was literally about 2-3 months after the game came out.
Oh, okay.
They refunded
2-3 months.
people.
Okay.
They gave people's money back. They don't do that. Like, they don't do that on games. Like, you buy a game, that's yours now. They refunded people for No Man's Sky. Yeah, well.
Ooh, 1 second.
That one got taken off the market too. That's probably the worst launches I've ever seen, probably. You know.
What, Cyberpunk?
Cyberpunk, No Man's Sky. Those are like the two that like
No Man's Sky to me
out.
was like that launch. I was like, oof.
Yeah, Cyberpunk was the first time that a game was taken off of that I can remember was taken off of the PlayStation Store. Like, you couldn't even buy it digitally. That's how bad it was. So yeah, for sure, both of them are really bad. But Final Fantasy 14 is the problem because now it's making so much money. The Square is just like publishing everything, and they don't care because they keep making money from it. So they're like, it's fine. We can experiment on everything.
They just charged me, and I haven't even played that fucking game.
You see, they're charging colleges not even fucking playing. They're charging me, and I haven't played either. But speaking of Final Fantasy 14, the South by Southwest just happened, and it won the Game Award Excellence in Original Score. It also won in Narrative. It also won Game of the Year at South by Southwest. So congratulations to Final Fantasy 14. Kena Bridge of Spirits won the Indie Game of the Year. Resident Evil Village won the Gaming Award for Excellence in Audio Design. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart won for Excellence in Technical Achievement. Those are the four that I just mentioned.
Achievement.
So. Ratchet and Clank?
Okay.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
No, that game did do some technical wizardry though with the PlayStation 5.
What does that mean?
What it means is like you can do portals to the entirely different like open worlds, and it happened in like a second. That's magic. Like even if you're not into the game, that's powerful.
You could actually like rift into like another world immediately without loading into like a separate screen or anything. Everything was super seamless.
Yeah.
Did anyone watch Arcane, the animated series?
I did not.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I was gonna talk about it a little bit, but forget it. So let's talk about Reggie real quick again. He left
Reggie.
GameStop's board because leadership refused to explain how they would turn the company around. Former Nintendo America president Reggie Fils-Aimé left GameStop's board of directors after serving barely a year. So
Yeah.
I know that we've talked about GameStop and what their plans were going forward. And I believe that on that podcast, we did say that we had some hope for them because Reggie was on the board of directors.
Oh.
He said, peace out. He was like, y'all have no plan, no direction. I don't know what's happening. You don't know what's happening. I'm leaving. Now, I think there was also there was two more companies that I don't remember off the top of my head that also had people join GameStop. I think one of them was Walmart. Whatever. The point is, what do you do now? Like I know that Brandon has really bad experiences with GameStop. I still shop at GameStop. I still go there. I still have a GameStop credit card. It's literally just because my job is in a mall, which is right next to a GameStop. So for me, it's super convenient to get off of work on a Friday and pick up the latest game and not have any issues with it. But for you guys, how has the GameStop experience been for you? And what do you think this means going forward for the company, aside from anything bad? Or is it just all bad?
I mean, as long as I get my game, like that's. I only go to GameStop to get digital games. I don't go in there to do anything else.
To get digital games?
I'm sorry. I only go into GameStop to get physical games.
Why you don't do that at your house, bro?
Man, I only go in there to get physical games. Like I don't do anything else in GameStop because to me there's kind of nothing else to do in GameStop. Like the only other things I've bought from GameStop are action figures, Dragon Ball, like anime action figures, and like I don't know, it's mailed to me, so like that doesn't. I've never had a problem with it. Like
they were supposed to do that whole like revamp of like having a scene for gaming in there where you could hang out with friends and stuff.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like they kept talking about that, but I guess they ditched that plan out. But again, like to me, GameStop is just somewhere where you go in to buy a video game. I don't want to go in there and hang out. Like they literally have arcades and game not gameplays. Yeah, it's just arcades for that stuff where you go in and they have like a shit ton of PCs set up. They have monitors set up where you can connect your PS5 or your Switch and go in and play. Like they already have that. GameStop just needs to keep selling games. Like I don't know. At this point, because again, like you have all these other stores that sell games, obviously, but to me, to me, GameStop's the quickest because I go in, I know what section I'm going for. Like I don't know, when I go into a Best Buy or into a Walmart or something, like I go in, either one, they have such low stock that I don't find the game, or two, like the way they have their game aisles organized is so shitty. Like everything blends in.
Oh my god, especially Walmart.
Yeah, like I'll find an Xbox
I don't go to
game
Walmart
and a
anymore
PlayStation
either.
5. Yeah, so but like to me, it's like GameStop. I walk in, I know what game I'm in for because obviously I'm in there with a plan. I just if I can't find, like I'll give myself 5 minutes to search on the shelf. If it's not there, I'll ask the guy, "Hey, is this game in?" They say no. I'm like, okay. I just walk away. Like I don't know. It's a simple store for simple means.
Worked in the mall, I used to spend like all my money at GameStop. But now that I work from home, I buy everything online. I think that's why the hangout at GameStop kind of fell through because who's doing shit in person? I mean, I don't know. Are people doing shit in person? I'm not. I'm not leaving my fucking house. So I don't think that there's like a market for people doing shit in person anymore. It would have been a good idea 5 years ago.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of over now. People are still like not. I mean, it's after COVID. It's still not right. Nothing's right yet. But yeah. Whenever I used to go, I used to trade in stuff. So I'd trade in old game systems and everything, and stuff like that at GameStop. But I don't even think I've bought a game from them in ages. Not since my points expired, and I was really pissed. And I was like, you know what? Fuck y'all. I ain't going back.
I personally do still go, but it's because I'm subscribed to their yearly thing for like $15 a year. Their
Yeah,
game
the power up
subscription or
rewards.
whatever.
I have it too,
Yeah.
but I don't
And
use
so
it.
I get $5 a month off of something, which is great. Plus, every time that so now you get a free $5 a month. And then I add that on top of the points that I get. Once you get 1,500 points, it's $15 off of a game. I just got a game for like $20 off. And then on top of that, I'm subscribed to Game Informer. I prefer my magazines to be physical. So I'm getting my physical Game Informer magazines. The best part is that, Wesley, our wonderful friend of the show, he writes at Game Informer. So now I get to see his work in print and I have it like on my shelf there. So that's fucking awesome. I just get discounts. It's super quick. I walk in, walk out. Sometimes I meet people. Sometimes I avoid people. But what GameStop really had was the ability to trade in, games and consoles and stuff like that. And they still have that. The thing is, a lot of people are like, GameStop sucks. I never want to shop there. They should shut down. There's no other place that you can walk into a mall and physically trade in old video game. Well, I'm sure there are like smaller places, but it's going to be really hard to be able to trade in electronic video gaming content for other electronic video gaming content in a way that GameStop offers it. And people still do it. I was literally in there picking up Triangle Strategy, and this guy brought his whole Xbox Series S, and he was trading it in. And I was like, what are you going to get? And I don't remember what the fuck he said because this was weeks ago, but he literally like pulled it out of his book bag. He had like a bunch of games that were old. I know he was getting Pokemon cards, and I was like, bruh, Xbox for Pokemon cards, but whatever, not my money. But the fact is,
he's rich.
What? The point is, there's no other place that you can really go and do that. I used to be a part of a community online, and we would trade games to one another. And all you had to do was pay for like shipping and postage, and it was better than GameStop at the time because like I would go online and be like, hey, I have this pristine copy of Tomb Raider ready to go for about $5. Either that person pays me $5 for it, or I trade them for Sonic Heroes on GameCube. And so we did it ourselves without having to go through the middleman, in which case essentially you would get the right amount of money for the product that you have, because you could barter for yourself. But if GameStop were to go away, I traded in my OG Switch at GameStop and got this lovely Animal Crossing Switch from GameStop that I traded in. It's backwards because I don't use it no more. But that's not the point. I traded in my old Switch and got a brand new one for, I think I paid like less than $50. Where else can I do that? I can't do that at Target. Target don't give a fuck about me. They just want my money, and they get it because they give me 5% off. But that's the other thing. You got incentives to go to GameStop. However, I've rambled and I don't want to talk about this anymore unless you guys have anything to say on the matter.
I've been there like 3 years. Oh, but Rob's got apparently incredible luck with GameStop because he says 9 times out of 10 I somehow always get the last copy of a game. Last time I was there, I got the last copy of 3 different games that I went there for. I'm like, shit. Well, go play
Does
the
he have
lottery,
friends that work at GameStop?
I don't know. You can
I
write.
know.
Yeah.
One of the managers at my GameStop, he knows the type of games that I like, so he held on to the last copy of this wonderful game, the Octopath Traveler.
Oh, nice. Traveler's Edition.
Yes, there we go. He held on to the last one for me, and I hadn't pre-ordered, but he's the best because he knew I was coming right after work. I literally went there at like 10 a.m. when they opened, and I was able to grab this bad boy. So shout out to you. I'm not gonna say your name because I don't know if you did it like.
You get in trouble for that.
Something you weren't supposed to do.
Point
stand
is,
for your homie.
when you have those cool connections, that's also how I got that Animal Crossing Switch. I'm gonna just stop talking about that and talk about something
I get
else.
someone fired.
I know. That's like I'm gonna talk about something else. The Resident Evil films are coming to Netflix on July 14th. Yay!
Nice, cool. Yeah.
I don't know. Mario Kart 8 is getting that stupid ass DLC. I'm sorry, I called it stupid ass because I think this is stupid. But
You're
Mario
not
Kart
wrong.
8 is getting deluxe booster pass. And now all of the names have been revealed for all of the games. To just clarify and explain why I said that. How old is this game? 5 years? 8 years? 7
The
years?
Switch version is 5 years old.
7.
How old is
Mario Kart 8
itself?
is
Yeah.
7 years old.
Yeah. So Nintendo's releasing DLC randomly for a 7-year-old.
Oh, it's not random.
Racing game.
They're in their bag. This is the best. This is still the best-selling Switch game, and they're
By
like, you know
random,
what?
I mean
Doesn't
something
get any
that
better.
wasn't planned beforehand. Like
Oh,
this is
sure.
not
That's- oh, yeah,
something
that's-
that was like
Yeah.
set out by Nintendo to. They did not plan 7 years ago
Oh,
to
yeah.
design DLC. 7 years later, which you should actually no, you shouldn't even go do that. Never mind.
And
I just think
that,
it's such a money grab. Sorry, I think it's such a money grab.
and I'll take it.
It's
so
I love it. I love it.
Not only is it a money grab, but you also have to pay for their online service, which is also trash, to be able to play online with other people anyway. So it's a money grab for a bad online system. I said it.
100% should have been free DLC.
Thank you. I feel like
It is free if you got the expansion pack.
No. Aside from the expansion pack, if you had the regular Nintendo Switch Online, still should have been free. Because my problem with this is, yeah, sure, it's still the best-selling Switch game or whatever. It's still doing really good. If it's doing really good, you don't need more money from it. Just it keeps selling the regular copies. You don't need to keep giving out DLC, and you don't need to charge people $25 to play tracks they've already played before, just remastered and looking better for a new game.
So I'm going to disagree, and I'll tell you why I disagree. Because here's why they're doing it, and specifically why it's part of the expansion pack. And I'm not saying I necessarily agree with it. I'm just explaining why it's going down this way. So yes, like you said, if it's the best selling, that they should. Wait, what was it you were saying? That you were saying that if it's the best selling Mario Kart game, that they
It doesn't need DLC.
Okay, cool.
It
That's what
doesn't
they're saying.
need DLC.
Right. Okay. Cool. That's what was like you said. This was not planned. Obviously, this is something they're doing in response to how much money it's getting. But it's not. It's less than for the sales of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe itself, because that game, regardless of whether they had done this or not, was going to continue to sell well. What all of this tracks that they're doing is, I mean, it's partially because of Mario Kart 8's success, but I think it's more so.
Also, really quick throw in that this game does come bundled in with Switches, so a lot of people are also getting the game essentially for free as well. So of course it's going to be successful because it's literally thrown at people's faces.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. Yes, it's also a packing game for later Switches. So there's that. It has a really high attach rate on top of everything else. So anyway. It's sold. I think the current total is like 30 million, and then the Switches have sold like over 100 million. So that's a good amount of people that have the game already. This is mostly a tactic to sell the expansion pack that they have recently put out there, because obviously you can buy the DLC by itself because why wouldn't you be able to? But with the expansion pack, then it's because they're doing different waves all the way up until 2023. People who have the expansion pack and like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe are now incentivized to hold on to their pack longer, because you get the first 3 waves in 2022 and then the later 3 waves in 2023. So for people that care specifically about Mario Kart 8, you have now almost assuredly guaranteed that people will have that expansion pack for 2 more years at the minimum. And then you figure by then maybe they'll have another thing that the expansion pack give you. Because right now, what do we have for the expansion pack? You have N64 games, you have Genesis games, you have the Animal Crossing Happy Home Paradise DLC, and now you have this. Who knows what else is going to be coming to the expansion pack in the future? That I don't know. We don't know what else is going to have. I know right now people don't care about the expansion. Not enough people care about the expansion pack, and Nintendo wants that to change. So they're going to throw as much value into it as possible. And if they're going to do DLC for games via the expansion pack, they want it to be games that people actually own. So Animal Crossing, not everyone owns Animal Crossing, but it was a pretty high-selling game for the Switch. A lot of people own Mario Kart. I wouldn't be surprised if, I don't know, Breath of the Wild sequel got something like this, if it got the DLC. Or Mario Odyssey. That game's been out for 5 years, but clearly Nintendo don't give a fuck, and they'll put DLC for out 5 years later. Who knows? I don't know.
I disagree with all of everything you just said.
I am too.
Because, one, if you're going to get the expansion pass just because you want the Mario Kart 8 DLC, you're dumb. Sorry, there's no other way to put it. Because it's cheaper to just buy the DLC.
It's literally cheaper to buy the DLC pass. Just check the price.
For a year. Than to play yearly, because if I have to wait till 2023 for the next wave of it to come by, that's already $50. extra because remember the expansion pass is now only yearly. You can't do it monthly. It's yearly, and it's an extra $20 regardless if you're doing the single plan or the family plan. It's going to be $20 to $30 increase. So now you're wasting $50 just to get a free DLC wave. Two, the N64, the expansion pass itself, a lot of people already don't like it because you're getting stuff that you can emulate anywhere else. I should not have to be paying extra money, that much extra money to play old games. Like, that's just a no. The Nintendo Wii U had the right idea. You get that eShop up, you pay $5, $10 for one of those older games, and that's it. It shouldn't have the expansion pack thing is a mess. No matter which way you place it, if they start handing out free games like they do with the PSN every month, then yeah, sure, maybe it'll be worth the money. But the Nintendo, you could say it's calculated on that stuff. I think it's very grimy. I don't like it, especially since they don't do backward compatibility right now. It's very grimy.
I agree with Gabe. I was one of those people that bought Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. I bought it. I then repurchased it on Switch. The nicest thing they did was put in the DLC from the original Wii U with the actual game, because I also purchased the DLC because I wanted to play as Link. So my dumbass spent extra money to play as fucking Link in Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. So the best thing they did was package that into one game and sell it on the Switch. Was I mad that I couldn't get a discount of some sort because I had the Wii U version? Yeah, sure, whatever. I paid for it. My problem with this is pretty much what Gabe's is, which is I have people that I know that aren't like huge gamers that still play Mario Kart 8, and they're like, oh my god, did you see? We're getting all these courses between 2022 and 2023. We're gonna have so much fun. We should play this weekend. And I'm like, Nintendo has got y'all ass because y'all don't realize that this is an 8-year-old fucking game that you should be getting DLC for free for. None of this is anything but let's take more money. And that is the issue that I have with it. Sure, you should charge for DLC. Don't get me wrong. I think, yes, they're allowed to charge for DLC. They're working on this. Yes, sure, charge for it. But even like Gabe said, I just looked up the price for this. It's $25. I think that's a great, I will say, I think that's a great value for how many courses is it?
48. That's like double the courses. Yeah.
48 courses is awesome, but paid DLC is like, it's like charging people for nostalgia, because are these courses not old courses from other games, correct?
They're remastered courses with new elements, yes.
It's literally charging people $25 for nostalgia and telling them to wait from now until 2023 to be able to play it all. Like, if you're gonna charge me for it, I want it all right now. This is like a pre-order, and I don't know how you guys feel about pre-orders. You know, I've seen memes that are like, don't pre-order digital games, they're not going to run out, stuff like that. But and then, you know, you also have people that are just like, don't do pre-orders because then, you know, developers, whatever, blah, blah, blah. This is essentially just a pre-order to play old titles, old courses that you've already played before, brought new, so Nintendo can make more money, because they know that people like my friends are going to go buy this DLC pass. And I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. Like, this is an 8-year-old game, and they're trying to milk it for everything that it's worth. Once again, I do think they should get paid for the work that they're doing as DLC, because these are, you know, essentially new courses. They are putting them in the game, but like, reduce the do something. I don't know. I don't know if it should be free. I don't know if it should be completely free, but I think that after I've spent so much money and played this game for so many years, there should be some form of other incentive aside from either pay $25 or continue to pay for this crap online service. Like, I don't think those should be my two options to be able to enjoy this, especially if I want to enjoy it with friends. I feel like for me as a consumer, that's not fair. I bought this game twice. I have the online, so I am going to get it for free. But if I didn't, like, if I cancel my online because I feel like it is a bad deal, which I still feel like it's a bad deal, I'm not utilizing it right now. I can't. I'm using my online to trade Pokemon with people. That's it. Like, I'm paying $25 a year to trade Pokemon with people and go pick fucking oranges from Kelly's Island. Like, that's literally what I'm paying money for right now. I'm not using the Nintendo 64 games. Eventually, I want to play Majora's Mask. I started playing Majora's Mask, and you know what I realized? I can't. Why? Because the Joy-Cons don't work for that game. Like, it doesn't have the right controls. I tried to play Majora's Mask. I couldn't even fucking turn. Like, I was like, the buttons aren't mapped. Like, this is not. If you're gonna do it right. I feel like. So not only am I, and we played, Brandon. We played on Does It Hold Up? We played Super. Was it what was
Super
it?
Mario 64 is what we played.
We played Super Mario 64. I couldn't play that game right because I couldn't use it properly with the Joy-Cons. If you're going to allow me to play these old games, I shouldn't have to go buy an external peripheral object to be able to play something that I'm already paying for. So I can't even play Majora's Mask right. And now you guys are going to charge $25 for 48 courses? In theory, that sounds great, except for this is an 8-year-old fucking game. Imagine if... What's that game that keeps getting released? Elder
Scrolls. Yeah.
Imagine if Skyrim was like, hey, here's some brand new DLC for $25. You know how many people are going to go buy it? Probably a lot. And they should also all be mad because that game is how old?
That's over a decade.
10 years old.
And how is that not a cash grab?
100% is.
It is.
So
yeah.
how is this not?
Oh, I never.
I have 7 years old.
I have never at once said this was not a cash grab. I just want to make that perfectly clear. In fact, my whole thing about talking to the expansion pack was saying how it's a cash grab because what I was saying was it guarantees people get 2 more years of expansion pack, which is definitely a cash grab. But I do want to offer one counterpoint to what you Gabe and Jarrell said regarding about like why wouldn't they just buy the DLC? That would be the move if that was literally all they cared about. What I was talking about was more so before they announced that the booster course pack was coming to the expansion pack. Like I said, it only had Genesis, N64, and Animal Crossing, right? So let's say somebody was like, N64 games are cool, but I ain't paying another $30 a year to get that. Or maybe they thought Genesis game. Maybe they thought one of those 3 was like cool, but not good enough to just like raise the price. Now they got... Yes. Now they're seeing, I can get Mario Kart and N64 games. Well, maybe now it's worth the price. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about another consumer. Like maybe they saw this one thing and said, that's not enough. But if they keep adding to it, then it becomes enough. Right now, even with all 4 of these things, Genesis, N64, Animal Crossing, Mario Kart, that is still not worth it for some people. So it's in Nintendo's best interest to get that money to make sure they keep adding value to it so that it eventually becomes worth it to them. And for some people, it may never well be. But that's okay. It's they're saving their money in the end. But Nintendo wants the money, so they're going to keep adding value to it so more people will buy it. Yeah.
I'm sure Kelly is going to agree with you that this is a business move and it's a smart one.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes. In that I agree with you. However, I'm going to go back to I am on a family plan with everyone. We had to pay $80 to continue to trade with each other in Animal Crossing. And I mentioned this before, convincing 7 other people to pay more than the $3 that we had to pay before for a year to trade Pokemon and collect fruit is really hard. And I'm going to say, oh, well, you get Nintendo 64 games, they don't care about them. One of them does. One of them likes Sega. One of them likes Nintendo 64. And they still think it's a bad idea. They still didn't want to pay the extra $5 a year because they felt like it wasn't worth it. And if I say, oh, well, now Mario Kart 8, you get 48 courses over the next 2 years, it still will not change their mind. So I know that I am in a, I'm talking about my own experience here.
Sure.
But it's really hard for me to convince my friends to dive into this. And it hasn't changed. The fact that they're releasing these old games and they don't even work with the Joy-Cons, that's my biggest issue with this. Stop charging me for allowing me to play these games and I can't even do it. That's trash. So is paying $25 for DLC for a 7-year-old game, y'all. Nobody do it. Don't do it. Brandon already did it.
I already did. In fact... Oh,
good,
okay,
Kelly.
cool.
Don't do it.
In fact, she doesn't need to. And a little. There's going to be a little plug for tomorrow's charity stream that we're doing tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're playing these new courses that have already been. Actually, I think they already have been added to the game. So
doxing this on HP Critical. What?
Yes, it's for charity.
Oh my god.
And best of all, Kelly doesn't. Like I said, Kelly doesn't need to buy it because as long as the host has the DLC, they can just play it. All I gotta do is choose the course, like the game. As long as you have Mario Kart 8 updated, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, updated to its latest version, then as long as the host player has the DLC courses, then you can just play with them and you don't have to pay anything extra. So
until none of you can connect.
I don't have any problems with Mario Kart 8 online. That's like that. There's a lot of online games on Switch.
Fine. You're right. I'll give you that one.
Yeah,
You're right.
Smash I got a lot of problems with, and some of those other games, but Mario Kart 8 is
Just go buy
one
an OLED Switch and then plug the Ethernet cable into the back of it, Brandon. Hello.
I
was
even without
joking.
the Ethernet, I do have that Ethernet cable, but it hasn't been an issue with Mario Kart 8. That anyway.
You know what we could have done? We could have just donated all the money from everyone buying the DLC instead.
Y'all could do that if you want. I'm still gonna play. I'm still gonna do the stream tomorrow.
Y'all can do that. I'm still playing this game I paid for.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to talk about: Disney Plus.
Yes,
is
Disney
under
Plus.
fire apparently for adding TVMA, which is mature Marvel shows, to its category. This is dumb as fuck. My dog, my poor dog. I'm sorry if you guys hear my dog. She's like,
What specifically is dumb?
Oh, that people are mad about this.
Oh yeah, I agree. I was
literally, there are parental controls. Also, if you have an issue with your kids watching TVMA stuff, I mean, why do you not know what they're watching? Not to say that
Straight
you
up.
would know what they're watching all the time, because I've got kids. I don't know what they're doing all the time. I don't know what they're doing right now. I'm gonna I have no idea what they're doing. However, if it is a TVMA show on Disney Plus and they're watching it, it's my fault because I have the password to Disney Plus. I can see what other people are watching. They have their own like things. And go ahead.
If I may, regarding this whole situation of parents getting mad that there's mature content being added to Disney Plus, this is the exact same energy as my kids are playing an M-rated game. It basically makes them have to do more parenting. It's like, oh, I have to look at what rating my the games that I have to buy my kids. I have to think about that now. It's the game's fault, clearly. Oh, I have to make sure that my kids aren't watching a show that they're not allowed to. It's the network's fault. It's just like they don't feel like doing the parenting thing and telling the kids, hey, don't watch this, or explain to them why not to watch this or play this if in the case of the M-rated game. And instead they'll just be like, oh, it's there, now I have to, it's their fault. No, don't put it on there. I don't have to explain to my kids why that scene is happening in Jessica Jones. Ugh.
This is literally the same as the controversy from that new Pixar movie.
Really quick.
Yes.
When you open up Disney Plus, if you haven't opened it up since they've added it, it'll ask you, access the full catalog, set your content rating to TVMA. So you can actually turn it on or off if you want those things to be shown to your kids on the catalog.
Okay.
Give me all that TVMA. Give me it all.
This is, I was talking about this in Slack the other day, so I'm not going to talk about it now because it's kind of off on a tangent. But I was talking about people being really upset at Disney for not standing with LGBT individuals over the Florida Don't Say Gay bill, and I mentioned why I had an issue with that conversation. And I guess since I brought it up, I should kind of clarify. I don't agree with the bill. However, I don't think that the right avenue is to be upset with Disney over not standing out on the issue, because what most people should do is really research the issue before they say something about it. And I think this is a prime example of that. Gabe just mentioned, before you complain, have you tried starting the app, people? Did you see that you gotta make sure that TVMA is allowed before you're able to do this? And that, this is, what's that? Turning Red is the new Pixar movie that talks about, girl having her first period, and like people are just, parents are just going crazy. Like, why would you show that? What the heck's wrong with you, Disney, Pixar? You're all horrible, blah, blah, blah. Maybe.
I mean, other Disney movies are so much better, like when Mufasa dies, or like when Bambi's mother gets shot. Sorry, spoilers. Or like, what is it? Attila the Hun in Mulan murdering people.
The whole village,
a sleeping person.
Kelly, first of all, every parent knows that killing is a thing that happens. Periods don't actually happen.
No.
They don't
Especially not to unexpecting young 13-year-old girls.
Yeah, you wouldn't know about it, right?
I wouldn't know anything.
They don't.
It's just like
because it's not real.
It's
not real.
And
Yeah,
so,
we got
Actually-
sued by Disney.
Listen, I saw a tweet one time of a man saying that it's a woman's diet. She won't get her period if she has the right diet.
Yeah, I saw that once too.
And I'm like, please tell me it's a joke. I know we're not going on that tangent, but like, this is what happens when you don't educate children, especially young boys, about periods, guys. Like,
What happens when you
then
try
they
to
just make shit up.
yep.
teach
Yeah,
people about
no,
the
yeah.
Pythagorean theorem instead of real life stuff?
You know, you said it wrong. However,
I say it wrong. That's why I don't like math.
I was like, I feel like I should correct him, but then I was like, do I know? how to
No,
do it?
I don't know. how to
Probably
say
not.
it.
It took
So
like some mental gymnastics for me to be like, what the fuck is he talking about? Oh,
The
okay.
Pythagorean theorem.
I only realized. Wait, Pythagorean theorem? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? Okay, I was like,
Triangle theorem. That's what we're gonna call it. now.
triangle theorem. Oh
Oh
man,
my god!
The
the sequel to triangle strategy.
Yeah, you know, I think it's all about education. It's all about what your kids are comfortable with. And even if they're not comfortable with it, sometimes you do have to have hard conversations with children.
Yes, conversations.
and-
Have them.
Yeah, and I think a movie like this is a great example of how to handle that, because some parents don't know how to handle it. So a movie like this is a great way to handle it. Every young girl is going to have to deal with this. There's no reason she shouldn't be able to see herself represented and feel that, okay, I'm not alone in this. And for anyone who's like, oh my gosh, my kids are too young, blah, 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 children learn about,
Sorry. So this is going back to the Disney Plus thing. If you have multiple users on your account, it lets you toggle which user is allowed to see it. Even if you put allow full access in the beginning, it'll ask you which user you want. So you can make a user for you and then one for your kid and have it toggled off.
that's awesome.
That is
I
great.
see no reason to be upset at this the more I'm hearing about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so children, between the ages of 3 and 5 are so much smarter than we think they are. They know so much more than we think that they do. And those same kids, with gender identity, with, differences between one person and another, from race, etc. I always think it's not fair when parents, and I'm gonna end this real quick, but it's not fair when parents feel like, oh, my kid is too young for something like this, because just because you feel like your kid is too young for it, one, doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Two, there's probably some other kid that has to deal with it. And so your kid should be able to empathize with that child about it. And that's why, it's so important. I will use the example of me having to talk to my kids about, what it means to be Black in America 2 years ago. Like, you don't know how young they are. You don't know how hard it is for me to have conversations with them about something like that. And yet I have to. I don't think it's fair that I have to have these conversations with them and then you just get to, shield your child from it, because when a situation comes up that does involve their race, and let's be real, kids differentiate between race, like I said, between the ages of 3 and 5. So we're talking about elementary school age children. When that type of situation comes up, if your kid doesn't know how to handle it because you've decided that they're too young to be able to talk about it, and my kid then has to deal with it, how is that fair? The same thing for any young girl who has to deal with this, and some idiotic boys who grow up to say shit like change your diet. Like, I think everyone should just be more mindful and more empathetic, and I will end that there. Is there any news story or anything you want to say on that, or any news story that happened that I didn't mention that we should talk about before
Just
we
really quick, the state of play for Hogwarts Legacy was
Yes.
at 20 minutes of gameplay. The last 5 minutes, I believe, were the developers themselves talking about the game. And mind you, I haven't seen. Maybe it's because developers are very camera shy. I think that's something we've all agreed on. Usually, when we see them in presentations, it kind of looks like they don't know how to, talk to people. But it's because they're shy. There was one presentation that we mentioned, I can't remember, but they generally seemed so excited and happy to be talking about their game, especially the main. I can't remember his name. It was Josh something, I think. Who's the main guy wearing the blue long sleeve?
Yes,
He was like, I was trying to calm myself after the gameplay, but every time he came on screen, I was like, give me the freaking game now, bro. But yeah, 20 minutes of very impressive.
Really quick.
Yes.
I think Kelly was going to talk about the previous story before we moved on to this one. Were you going to say something, Kelly, about what I was talking about?
Okay, I'm good.
Okay, sorry, continue, Gabe. I'm sorry, it's because I heard her start to say something, and I also want to talk about Hogwarts Legacy, but I didn't want her to lose it, so, but go ahead.
And if you still have it, you can go ahead because I'm not gonna forget my stuff.
I'm good. Go on.
Oh, okay. I lied. I lost my stuff.
Oh my god!
Oh no! Yeah. So it was
You were
20
getting
minutes.
super excited by
Yeah,
saying
it
things,
was.
and
It
then you're
was.
gonna calm yourself down.
20 minutes of like very exciting and to me at least, very unexpected gameplay. We knew the game was gonna be big, but this game just looks huge
Yeah.
in all aspects. You know, they have. I know a lot of people were wondering, what the hell is the game going to be about? Like, am I just going to be a student at school? No, you get to fight people with more than just one spell. And it's just, again, there's just so much to talk about and so much to take in. I really recommend going and watching it yourself if you haven't seen it. But just know you're in for a very good surprise. It's releasing holiday 2022. Barring any, delays or whatever. But yeah, the game. I will admit I am more excited for this game than I am for Breath of the Wild 2.
Whoa!
100%. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh wow!
Joel, you're muted.
You're muted, Jarrell.
I was just saying that's very surprising.
Yeah. But I don't know if it's because we haven't gotten a new gameplay trailer, but man, this game looks like I even after hearing me say this, no matter what you think, no matter how big you think the game is going to be, it's going to be at least 10 times bigger than that.
Yeah.
I can agree with, having seen it, I can agree with everything you said.
I gotta be honest, like, growing up, one of my favorite Harry Potter games was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on the GameCube, and also Prisoner of Azkaban as well for a similar reason. And that reason was those games were very good about letting you explore the Hogwarts grounds, especially Prisoner of Azkaban. That one lets you explore the grounds so much more. And what always enamored me with the world of Harry Potter was just like, there's a lot of things, of course, but the castle, especially how you see it in the film, just how big it is and how many rooms there were and just how many like different classrooms there are. I always wanted like a really like fully realized game to just have me explore like the castle of Hogwarts itself, because Prisoner of Azkaban came close, but that was still like a GameCube PS2 era game. There's only so big you can go. And so it felt close, but it didn't quite reach it. And then we have this game, which is not only giving you like a more fully layered Hogwarts that is probably more than likely going to fulfill that childhood dream I had of exploring Hogwarts, but there's so much more too. Like you have those grounds, you have Hogsmeade. The developers in that interview was talking about how you can go what's beyond the Forbidden Forest. Yeah, true. What is beyond the Forbidden Forest? What's beyond Hogsmeade? It's showing all this like cool stuff. So not only getting like this really fully explorable Hogwarts, but then what's beyond Hogwarts as well, and that's what really excites me. That it just the exploration of it. It excites me because it's an exploration of a world that I know so well and have always wanted to explore, and I'm finally getting the opportunity to really do that. And that's what excites me more than anything else. It's probably excluding Breath of the Wild 2. It's probably the most excited I've been for an open world game in a very long time, just to see all of that. And of course, the simulation of living a Hogwarts student's life, going to the classes, choosing your house, the story being your own. Very interested in what they do with that. But yeah, that exploration, that's definitely what I'm looking forward to, more than anything else.
You know what it is? Not only is it what you're waiting to explore, I think what excited me the most was everything that we don't even know that we're waiting to explore.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talking about all the hidden like things within and outside of the castle, and I was like, I am gonna spend so much fucking time like exploring everything. I was so into it, and there was one point like where you're fighting, and I I'm like recognizing the spells that are being used. We're all Harry Potter fans, so
sure.
I can talk about this here. I'm recognizing the spells
What are you guys
being
talking
used.
about? I'm not a Harry Potter fan.
I would show you my Harry Potter tattoo, but it's in an inappropriate place that I can't show on the podcast. But I guess I could. No, I can't show it.
We're live on Twitch.
Oh, I forgot.
On Twitch.
All right, I can't show you now.
Good save.
I totally forgot. But I think what really excited me the most was not even exploring the castle or everything, but the combat looks so fucking good.
It
Like,
looks fluid.
I was shocked, like casting multiple spells at an enemy and then seeing the spells do what they're supposed to do, like in an open world, and then being able to grab, magical creatures and use them against them. And I as I'm watching, I'm like, okay, they've made some really great decisions, like making us a fifth year student. Super, super smart from a story perspective. Like,
Sure.
we should not be. Everyone who's grabbing this game is a Harry Potter fan, right? We should not be starting this as a first level noob, for the purposes of what this game is meant to bring. So
Right.
I think they've made some really, really smart decisions in making it a huge open world, allowing for us to start at the fifth level, making sure that we get
I was just gonna say, like, I agree with what your statement is now, but when they at the very beginning of the presentation, when they were saying you're starting from fifth year, I was like, oh, but that's because this is our first like deep dive into the gameplay of this game, right? Before, I was just under the assumption that it's kind of like a Hogwarts student simulator for the most part.
Yeah.
That you were just going to be a student just going through all 7 years of Hogwarts and that kind of. And so when they started fifth year, it's like, wait, what? And then they went on more in detail about the narrative of what this game is supposed to be. And then I was like, oh, okay, well then that makes perfect sense. Of course, start as a fifth year. That makes a way more sense. Also, I can't help but wonder, what if they did start it off? What if this was more a pure simulator game instead of a game that had a narrative, and it was more of a simulator, and you created your character from year one? Is there technology at the point where it would realistically look that character aging up over the 7 years without it looking really weird?
Yeah. I mean, The Sims does it. I'm
Sure.
sure they could do it.
Sure. Fair enough. I was just curious about that. But no. To go back to, you can continue what you're saying. I was just saying, yes, I agree. Starting fifth year, given the narrative, is a good idea.
The only thing I kind of don't like is I don't like the Chosen One stories, which is why I had an issue with like Harry Potter
sure.
5 and 6. Come at me. And being the one who can use the special magic. But it's me, so I don't care. Like,
Yeah, sure. Right.
Hey, that's another thing I was saying. Like in this case, you're making the characters customizable. Like each gameplay could be someone else. It's not. This isn't a set. Like if you think, because it's set in the 1800s, if you think you know what this story is, you don't know what the story is because it's its own original story. Like the only things that are the same is the side characters and all that. You can actually change. There's a point in the trailer where they're telling like you can actually become a dark wizard. Like and there's a scene where the Chosen One is using the killing spell on someone.
That's where it was going. Yes. Well,
I saw that and I was like, excuse me.
Yeah,
so you kind of said what I was gonna say.
So is this game, so that's what got me thinking. Is this game gonna have multiple endings, a dark ending? Because that man just straight up wasted that monster with Avada Kedavra.
It's an open RPG game. Yeah, it's gonna have multiple endings.
Hell yeah, let's go. I'm probably not gonna do the dark ending because I'm a good boy, but it's cool that it's there.
Y'all basically said what I was gonna say, so I'm done.
I'm sorry, Cheryl, but thank you for introducing.
I have lots of points to make about that spell specifically. And the character customization, which I was also going to bring up,
it's
the diversity in the actual game.
Latino wizard, let's go.
It was pretty diverse, like the cast, which is awesome, and small things like finally seeing the Hufflepuff dormitories, for example.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Which looked really
like
nice, by the way.
I know, I was like,
right?
Is that what it looks like? Because I might have to reconsider.
No, because
I'm Hufflepuff. I will be.
Let's go, Kelly.
Your living rooms look good.
But talking about the characters and stuff, I think it was kind of funny because you know how when The Cursed Child came out, everyone was like, Hermione's not black. She was white in the movies. I feel like the game developers kept that in mind. They're like, well, the new female best friend is black, whether you like it or not. You gotta deal with it.
Ooh. Continue, but I have a point when you're done.
And it's something else that even though this is set in the 1800s, they didn't use that as an excuse to keep everyone white. It's actually
that's what I mentioned. It's very
like one of the characters is not. He does not sound like a white guy to me. I can't pin him where he's from, but you can tell he's not from England. But yeah, it's so. I don't know. Like, there's just so. My dogs are barking. I hope that Mike doesn't pick that up. It's just so exciting to see, and like, it comes out holiday 2022, so like it even gives them more time to polish the game.
Yeah, there were a lot of check marks that were checked for me going into this. And what I will say really quickly is I still understand and respect people who are, and we have talked about this before, whether you're going to play the game or not based on the transphobic comments from J.K. Rowling. And I respect everyone's decision. Do what you feel is right. Do what you feel you should be doing. I know that there are some websites that are not covering this game specifically for that. If that's what you feel like you should be doing, fair enough. I'm pretty sure that, and I don't want to speak for anyone here, but as far as HP Critical goes, we hopefully will have some content going forward for Hogwarts Legacy because we're able to differentiate J.K. Rowling and how she feels versus the developers that that have put a lot of time into this game. And Avalanche, I think this is probably WB Games and Avalanche, like, I can't tell you another Avalanche game that I've ever been excited for. Shit, I probably can't even tell you another Avalanche game.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I will remember them for the plight that they're taking on Hogwarts Legacy, and that's a big deal. Like they're yeah, good job. Go ahead, Brandon.
No, I was just gonna say the companions excited me because they were saying like, oh, you can make have different companions based on the choices you make in the game, who you want to hang out with and whatnot. And that just gave me like some Persona vibes, and that just excited me a lot. So it's just like, let's go. And that of course influences your party as well, which gave me triangle strategy vibes because that's how that game is. Decisions you make in triangle strategy determine the party members you get throughout the story as well. So I'm like, man, this game is just like checking so many boxes for me for things I personally care about. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, and as I just mentioned, like exclaimed a few minutes ago, I'm just so happy that like. I'm hoping that the character customization is really well done because sometimes it looks like a good character creator and then it doesn't turn out to be so great. I'm hoping it actually does because I really want to fulfill my dream of being the Latino wizard in Hogwarts. Let's go.
I mean, with as diverse as the cast is, I would hope so too because
it's crazy.
And so did Babylon's Fall. Oh my god.
Oh man, I can imagine. It's crazy to think about the fact that late 1800s Wizard World was more diverse than late 1800s Muggle World. Because late 1800s
and Rage 2. Wow, they've come a long way. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have.
Are we still talking about?
We just wrapped up. I was just talking about how cool the companions were.
Oh. What, for WB Avalanche?
The only thing I wish that this game had that it didn't check off was like some type of multiplayer. That's
true. I didn't think of that. You know what? I don't think it's impossible. That could be like a free update. The way this game is structured, I see potential for that. I feel.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
It doesn't have to be this game, but I want a Harry Potter MMO. It's all I want. And whenever this game was announced, I was like, oh my god, if they give me a Harry Potter MMO, I'm going to give you all my money. I'm going to give you everything. And it's not, and I'm still going to play it probably, but they would get more of my money if it was an MMO.
I mean, it's literally, and to hopefully agree with what Brandon was saying, I'm sorry for cutting you off. I thought you were done. Sorry. It is literally made to be an MMO. Like, I watched that and I was like, this is legit Final Fantasy 14. Like, there's
just
no
Harry Potter thing.
Yes, like I was like, there's no reason I shouldn't be playing this with my friends. Like, there's absolutely no reason. But go ahead, Brandon. I'm sorry.
I have a thought. What if? Okay, so hear me out. So GTA 5, which recently released again for the PS5, but that's the game is structured that the single player mode, you have that, but then it also has a big online mode, which is completely separate. There, you make your own character, and then you just do whatever the hell you want in Los Santos. What if there's two options I could see? They could either do straight up that with Hogwarts Legacy as like a multiplayer option, or B, let's say the entirety of this game story takes place within that 5th year, and then, you're done with your 5th year and the story is you rolled credits, and now you're in 6th year, and now you can play with your friends. 6th and 7th year to do all that stuff. I hope they do either one of those things. Either one of those would be fine. I'd love that.
I don't think the first one would work because I feel like this is an action RPG based on like story elements. The only way I can picture it working is basically like Final Fantasy 14, which is like you're going through your own personal story, but when shit happens, you call on your friends to come be badass wizards with you and help you out with whatever like you need to tackle. And yes, like literally, it looks it's like they made the game for that and then just didn't flip the switch, which is so unsatisfying. Like I see it happening, especially when you like watch the player fighting multiple enemies. I'm like, bro, that's a fucking raid. Like, let me call up my friends. Like, we can literally go raid these fucking like bad gnome shits like together. Like, I don't see why that's not a thing. It would be so cool. And also, props to any game that makes you look different when you change your equipment. Thanks.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Big appreciate that. I always love when that happens.
My only other hope to come from this is that this game does so damn well, they do the same thing with Lord of the Rings. Because Warner Brothers also owns the rights to Lord of the Rings games.
I'll ask my friend that works there. You guys talk to him.
The thing is, I think I asked the last time I interacted with this friend. The last time I interacted with this friend, and they were like, "No, I don't," because they're so focused on that stupid Gollum game. Sorry, I'm not. Let me not call it stupid. It hasn't come out yet, but
it might be dumb.
Kind of.
It might
garbage.
be. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like, I'm working on a game, but I can't tell you about it. I'm like, were you? What? Just tell me.
Was that?
Is
Am I gonna see you in the credits? Am I gonna? Is that you?
Let me know.
Are you using a code name? Is it in there? But yeah, very excited for the game.
Yes.
Anything else?
I think I've said my piece on it. I'm very excited to hopefully see more soon. Not too
I think
soon, because that was nice
news-wise
for Big
about
Look,
it.
but yeah.
Well, also, yeah, that's another thing. They tweeted out after the state of play, like, you're gonna see more stuff along the way before it's finally released.
Cool. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, if only Nintendo could give us some fucking news on their games.
State of play was better.
Nintendo doesn't release games anymore.
Yes, it was.
Oh
my
like
god.
2 weeks ago or whatever. This 20 minutes was 10 times better than the 20 minutes.
But you know what's so
I
cool
actually
now?
like that state of play, and I agree with you.
we get Forspoken in October, and then Hogwarts Legacy in the next 2 months.
Oh, we're dead.
I have
We're
to finish
doomed.
all my games now.
We're so doomed.
That's not cool. That's
I'm giving away shifts like crazy. Not even lying. How'd you go to work today? Fuck no, I gotta finish this game before the next one comes out in 2 weeks.
It'd be like that. I
really
just keep
do be
looking
like
at
that.
Elden Ring like I gotta get you out of this PS5, bro.
Yeah, that's another thing I'm really happy about, Forspoken and this game coming out later on is I get time to finish Elden Ring.
I need it.
Which I don't think I'm anywhere near because 41 hours into the game and I've only beaten 2 bosses.
Bruh, I just saw. Okay, this is the last thing I'm gonna say because we're wrapping up. But I just saw. I don't know how true it is, but I just saw that the average time to beat Elden Ring is like 40 to 45 hours, and I was like, "What are y'all
How?
playing? Like, y'all are not playing."
Ow!
apparently that's like just following the main story. I'm like, bitch, you gotta start the game, New Game Plus then because
For real, like, how are y'all doing this?
41 hours into the game and I'm struggling to beat a minor enemy, dude.
And that also is just crazy to me because that just means you did like 0 exploration, which is,
Right.
I think, the biggest part of this game is literally just walking around and seeing shit. So
Except for those people that are speedrunning the game under 30 fucking minutes.
Yeah, which I mean, people are gonna do that, but like the average, I'm clearly not
average.
Like, which is cool. I don't want to be average. I'm unique.
I think once we get New Game Plus, I think maybe we'll catch up to around that 30-hour. Even though you're not going to play it again, but I'll go ahead and see if I can get it in 30 hours or so.
I got lost. I was like,
How-
where's the next
If you
bus?
didn't get lost, then you're not playing the game correctly.
Okay, because I literally
Because-
spent a whole day just being like, I don't know where the bus is.
Because like the graces, like when you touch them, that sometimes they have like that slip. Yeah, they go all over the place. I'm like, where am I going?
Yeah, it
Who am I
literally
fighting?
leads you to another grace, doesn't it?
No, it's supposed to lead you towards your objective.
Bro, that shit went like 5 different directions, and I was like, "This doesn't make any sense." And then this is, oh my god, I'm gonna end this. But I was walking, and I was like, oh, "Okay, whatever. I guess I'm supposed to go this way." I walk in, and I see Margit, and I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" I was just walking randomly. I thought I was in the wrong place, and I was like, "I don't know where I'm at." And then cutscene, and then death, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And that's how I found the first boss. And I was like, This is unfair as fuck. Like, why didn't you guys tell me that was gonna happen? And so I lost all my runes fighting Margit, and then I went back and I went to the little steak of whatever, and I sat down, and then the lady comes and she's like, "Do you want to go to the round table?" And I was like, "The fuck is the round table?" So I went to the round table. I promise this has a point. I'm gonna tell you how shitty my Elden Ring experience is. I had enough runes to level up, and as you guys know, in these From Software games, if you die, you lose your runes and you have to go back and get them. But if you die again before you get them, they're all gone. I had a ton. Like I hadn't saved. I had a ton. And I died at the boss, and the worst part is you have to beat the boss to be able to get your runes back. So I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to call my friends, ask them to help me, because I don't want to lose this shit. And it was unexpected. I just walked into it. So the lady's like, oh, you want to go to the round table? I was like, yeah, sure. So I get to the round table, and the round table, they're like, oh, there are no weapons here. We're all friendly. There's no fighting. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Let me just explore a little bit, and then get the fuck out of here and go get my runes back. I jump down in this room in the round table where there's no fighting, and there is a NPC that invades your game, and he fucking killed me. So I lost like so many runes, not even from the boss, from a place that I wasn't even supposed to be fighting anything at. I was very pissed off, and I turned the game off. That has been my Elden Ring experience. It was trash. I went back, my friends helped me beat him, but I lost all my runes. So anyone who's listening, don't be like me. Spend that shit before you walk away, because something will fucking kill you. And then you'll lose all your shit, and then you'll be frustrated and turn the game off.
Yes.
Elden Ring lessons. Anywho, that's enough from me. That's enough from us.
It is.
This is the first time we finished before the time that we used to start. This is great.
That's awesome, though. Yeah. I love it.
And now I can have more guests on because they can stay up, you know.
And now you can go to sleep at a reasonable time.
I know. Except for I'm about to leave my house. So, thank you guys so much for another week. Brandon, Kelly, Gabe, it's been great. And thank you all for listening. And anyone who watches this when it comes out, thank you. Remember to like and subscribe, etc., etc. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.